Well, howdy there, my pipe friends, pipe pals, my Pfeifenfreunds. Alles klar mit Ihnen? Alles klar mit euch? Alles klar mit du? Okay, I am here tonight. I don't know if this isn't actually my first video of the new year. I thought I felt a little rumbling a couple of seconds ago. Like, could that be an earthquake? Anyway, so I am here tonight for a couple reasons. Again, let me just share with you this wonderful, lovable pipe that I got from Hermeninator, and I think this is just an awesome pipe, and I love this pipe. It's an Anton Menger pipe. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Auf Deutsch. And in it, I am smoking. Ich rauche einige Boswell's Northwoods. And just wonderful. A wonderful combination. This wonderful, it kind of looks like a volcano pipe to some extent, but boy, it is wonderful. Okay, gonna have a little backy chat. Not a wacky chat, but a backy chat. Right. Okay, and but I found in the mail, the post this afternoon, completely unexpected, a package. In the background, I'm listening to Capital Public Radio here in California, Sacramento, KXPR, FM 98.9, 98.9, 88.89. Folks, just look it up on the internet. Capital Public Radio, Sacramento, KXPR. 88.9, I think is what it is. Anyway, I got this package. And I'm not gonna put the address there because I'm afraid if I do that, I'm gonna reveal some privacy stuff. I don't want to do that, certainly. But I believe this is from Glen M. Glen M. Box. I'm wondering what's in the box. It's a little too heavy to be pipe tobacco, I think. It's too heavy, I think, even to be a pipe. It feels like there's a box inside of a box. And it looks like it's got Christmas seals on there. Christmas seals. Yep, 1, 2, 3 Christmas seals. Okay. Yes, you probably think I've been watching too many make and change videos. I probably have. Bad puns all around, you know. Oh well. Gotta love that Mark. He's so talented. Okay. And I'll say one thing. He sure packed this well. And it looks like, I want to say that the art of wrapping packages seems to be a diminishing art. And it's sort of like cursive handwriting. A lot of people either don't take the time to do it, and sad to say, a lot of people never learn how to do it. To wrap something and to wrap it well is quite a skill. Maybe we should have a video on that. Okay. Okay. But to be honest with you, this feels like maybe Glen M sent me his grandfather's dentures. I don't know. We'll see. Again, it's got that box inside of a box feel. Aha. The room note. I'll go ahead and, I may not share the whole thing with you, but I will, it looks like a Christmas card. Very nice. Joy to the world. You know, technically, we are still in the Christmas season. If you're a Catholic person, Christian person, Catholic person, we still do a season of Christmas, not a day of Christmas. So we kind of really make out, you know. So we're still in the Christmas season. Okay. Thank you. Real great, simple room out. Appreciate it, Glenn. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it, sir. Nice card. Very nice card. Okay. And it looks like a tin of coffee. Nope. Yeah. It is. I think. It is. Ha ha ha. Awesome. I was right. A tin of coffee. Maple cinnamon coffee. My friend, I tell you what. I love cinnamon flavored coffee. Now cinnamon, those of you who are kind of doing raw foods, whole foods, paleo diet, primal blueprint diet, that kind of stuff, cinnamon's supposed to be really, I mean, real raw natural cinnamon is supposed to be good for regulating your blood sugar. So, yeah, look at that. Well, thank you, Glenn. Thank you. That's awesome. What a friendly thing to do. I love it. Harvest, no, gourmet. Get my glasses on here so I can read. Gourmet maple cinnamon seasonal coffee. Harmony Bay. Wow. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this brand, Glenn. But I am telling you what. I am looking forward. Oh, and it's ground too. I don't even need to put the beans in the old grinder. I got a grinder, but gotta, you know, wipe out some of that pipe tobacco in there. But other than that, not bad. Not bad at all. I am looking forward to trying some of this tomorrow morning. I might even try some tonight. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. And the gold wrapping. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Okay. Well, old Holy Smoking Pie Padre has a little fireside chat that I'm going to share with you. Really enjoyed this Northwoods. I have to say that I did kind of let it get just a wee bit dry, but you wouldn't know it would had any real noticeable, you know, flavor impairment to it. Still delicious. A little bit of sweetness there on the tip of the tongue too. Believe it or not, for an English. Very, very lovely Northwoods. I think old ADZ Pipes really hit the nail on the head when he said, "Yep, this is it. This is it." Right. Okay. So I just got a couple of things on my mind, and I guess there's a couple things I'd love to talk about, but I think I'm going to just stick to one topic tonight. And I'm going to talk about digital clutter. Digital clutter. You know, in the new year, every year, a couple things I resolve to do, of course, is lose weight and kind of clean up my mess. I I feel like sometimes I don't know if I'm a hoarder, pack rat, recovering pack rat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look around my room here, and although I feel good, I want to say this. You know, when my time comes to leave, whether it's just a leaving this place and moving to another assignment, I don't think I'll have a lot of regrets, only because I really inhabited the space I live in. I used things. Now I got to be careful because it might sound like I'm talking about like being a manipulator or that kind of thing. No, what I mean is, for example, here's something I want to. This is exactly what I want to say. I knew people when I was growing up who, two things: either one, they lived in Orange County, they lived right like a block away from Disneyland, or they had a swimming pool in their backyard. And I was always amazed that the people that lived the closest to Disneyland rarely ever went there. And the people that had a swimming pool in the backyard rarely used it. And I always thought, well, why is that? And then later, they'd move away from Orange County, or they'd move away from the house that had the pool in the backyard, and all they would do is sit around and complain. Oh gosh, when we lived in Orange County, we lived right next door to Disneyland. Did you ever go there? Well, no. We had a pool, Wow, that must have been great swimming. Yeah, but we didn't really use it that much. And one of the things that I really have kind of gotten into in my life is try to use it, because you're not always going to have it. It's not taking advantage of something, but it is being grateful for what you've got. Like we have a marvelous kitchen here in the rectory that I live in. Now, most Padres probably are not like me. They don't either know how to cook, or they just, some people just don't like how to. Some people do not like to cook, and that's okay. It's not a sin if you don't like to cook. But I do. I've just been making lasagnas all day. Started the sauce yesterday afternoon. And I put them together and baked them up tonight. And they're now sitting on the counter, cooling off. And I'll put them in the refrigerator, let them sit for a couple of days. We have a big lasagna dinner on Friday. And one of the selling points for the auction item dinner was a homemade lasagna by yours truly. And I love doing that. Yeah, it's work, but it's enjoyable work. We have, in my neighborhood, in this area where I live, we have a little chain of beautiful little parks. They're all just networked together. They're circled together like little circles now in Google+. Kind of scary. And when I first got here about 4 years ago, the first year I saw the park, saw it the first year I was here, and I just thought it only went back so far. Like I thought I saw a fence and it would go, maybe 100 yards into the park, and that was the end of it. And I thought, well, it's nice to maybe walk around a couple of circles around the little park there. That's why I thought it was just a little kind of like a little thaw park. But the next year, about 3 years ago, I actually discovered that there's a little pathway that meanders through not only that park, but it links it up with a whole chain of little parks that are all networked together. And you put those together and you have yourself a lovely walk or run or even bike ride. So the first year I did just a real simple mile walk and mile back. I was really out of shape. So and I was okay with that. But then the third year I was here, I kind of gave up on that because I wasn't very happy and I was going through some problems. But then last year, not only did I walk the park, I walked 3 or 4 of them parks. We started really going for it. And I'm happy to say I saw some real changes. But as I start the new year this year, I'm a little bit nervous because I always like to try and do like a cleanup. Say, okay, I want to be accountable and responsible for the things that I use. And I look around and I see all the wonderful pipe tobacco. People sent me some wonderful stuff, wonderful little pipe gifts and tobacco gifts, and some of them I try to use, and I try to do it responsibly and appreciatively. But if truth be told, I'd have an overabundance. And that's not to flaunt or to say, look at me, look at what I know. It's just I'm almost embarrassed and even ashamed that I have so much that I give things away, and I would love to, I wish that people weren't just virtual digital people. I wish they were like people that lived in the neighborhood. I just drop off some Stonehaven and say, hey, here you go. I had an extra bag of this, It's not a question of not being willing to give. It's just, hey, some of it probably is a little old. Some of us might be a little past its prime, and may not even be worthy to give to somebody as a gift. But anyway, that's just one small example. And then, there's a lot of other things. But the thing that kind of got me kind of feeling like, gosh, I feel so overwhelmed now, is I look around my room, I see the clutter that I have, but then I realize that, I'm just not managing this really well. Now, there's a point in my life where something is going to push me over the edge, and I'm saying, okay, that's it. And I just go through like the white tornado, and I just start, giving things away to Goodwill, or I start chucking things because it becomes a real psychological encumbrance to me. I just have to say, I gotta get rid of this. It's not, my feng shui, as one person says, you gotta, find your feng shui, whatever that is. But that balance in your life. But the thing that started hitting me was like, it's not just that now. It's the digital debris. The digital debris. And I mean, what I'm talking about are emails that probably are thousands upon thousands of emails over the last 4 or 5 years. They're still sitting in my, not that I've read them, certainly, but they're still there. I keep thinking, well, why am I holding on to all that stuff? My phone, my poor old phone just is clogged up with junk, pictures and little goofy things, and I don't have any space anymore to make room for more junk. And I'm going, I have all this stuff, and I don't think I'm being a very good steward. I don't think I'm really managing it as well as I'd like to. And I feel overwhelmed. I feel like, gosh, it just seems like it's this digital tidal wave that's coming at you. And sometimes I kind of want to retreat. Say, I want to, there's a lot of times now in the last, even in the last year, where I would go for walks and I just don't take my phone anymore. I like being accessible, but if I'm 2 miles away from the rectory or the church and somebody calls and they need to get a key in, there's no way I can help them. It's like, well, see you when I get back. That's a little thing, but still there are things that are kind of like that I realize that, having all this digital, electronic, social media stuff is it's interesting. It was meant to be, I think, a way to connect with people. But now it's just another thing for us to avoid. It's kind of like we want to be connected, and yet we get connected, and then we say, no, sorry, don't bother me. Don't bother me. And but it's also the actual digital debris that now you got to go and get rid of excess pictures on your phone, delete emails or voicemails or text messages, things that just clutter up, emails. And I'm thinking, I'm not managing this very well. Another thing that is really troubling about the digital debris life is Northwoods. Sometimes you get that sense of pine trees in this thing. Ever eat a pine tree? Many parts are edible. Gosh, now I forgot. I was going to say something about the digital debris. Maybe it'll come back to me. What was that? Yeah, I can't remember now. A little bit of old-timers disease there. But just this whole thing of not being able to man. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Is that, and I find this with a lot of software and apps. They, at least in Apple products, I don't know about Android or the Galaxy 4S or whatever that system is. But they upload, they upgrade, or yeah, they upgrade the app, and it's not an actual where you pay for a new app, but they now automatically just do updates automatically. And I found this with Final Cut Pro. I'm a big Final Cut Pro guy, as you know. And one day I went in there and I'm noticing, wait a minute, they actually changed the interface subtly, but they radically they moved things around. They deleted certain little buttons and functions, and this is not a brand new Final Cut Pro 10. This was just an update to Final Cut Pro 10 that just happened. And sure, they said, you want to do the updates. Sure, I always do updates. And most of the time, updates don't have a noticeable difference. They're all kind of, they're probably things to do with security and code things that we never see on the interface, the graphical user interface. But now they're actually changing the whole app or the whole program, whether it's on your phone or your iPad or your computer, and it's different. And you go, wait a minute. They just changed this whole, well, not the whole thing, but they changed part of the layout. The way you're accustomed to, maybe it's a program an app on your phone that you're using for calling. I have a navigator thing on my phone, and periodically they'll update it, and most of the time it stays the same, but every now and then it'll change. You can't enter the address that you want to enter the way you normally did. Now you have to go do it a certain different way. And if let's say you're just assuming that you know how to use this app, and you're going to go now from point A to point B, and you have to be there in say 5 minutes, and normally it only takes you a second or two to put in your address thing to find it. But now it's all changed. Well, where do I enter the address now? And you're looking through this menu of all these different options. It's like, God bless them, they give you more and more options all the time. Or they hide certain features. I noticed tonight, I went into YouTube, and the inbox is now hidden in some new folder. Have you noticed that? Normally it used to be on your little video manage tab, manage videos or whatever. and it would be on the little left-hand side, I think it is. Yeah, left-hand side. And it would say inbox. And you go, okay. Again, they kind of are trying to phase that out, I guess. But now they've hidden inside another folder, and you have to go to that folder, and I guess it's pretty much defunct. That's why they pretty much probably just are hiding it. Maybe it's just a kind of a vestigial kind of a thing now. It's just not really, conducive to anything. They're trying to move you to the Google Plus notification system, and then that's it. Rest in peace. Inbox for YouTube. It's play taps for it or something. Okay. So anyway, digital debris. How do you guys deal with your digital debris? Okay, that's probably all I was going to say. The other thing I was going to talk about just briefly, and I'll go ahead and throw this out. I'm going to throw this one out too. Why not? Why not? Most of you watch me know that I do long videos, and so why should this one be an exception? I'm just getting started. No, just kidding. But I noticed that our new Holy Father, Pope Francis, and I normally don't. I hope this is not seen as me criticizing the Holy Father or in any way, shape, or form. But it just seems that, and again, I think the world probably and people in general are, to be very honest, upset and angry at the church. I think that's a pretty safe assumption for the most part. And there was an article I saw today about the Pope who doesn't want to see priests turn into little monsters. And I started kind of looking at that and going, what? He was kind of chastising. It seemed like he was kind of taken to the woodshed. People who, he said something about people who stress in the formation of priests. We go to seminary. We go to 5 years of seminary after college, to become priests. And he was saying that a formation program that focuses mostly on ideology or theology, I suppose, and that's all you do is you create somebody somebody who's kind of like a book-learned person who, you ask them a question about the Catholic faith, and they can, like kind of like the computer on Star Trek, calculating. Answer, mortal sin is, bing, 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 Okay, well, granted, that's not really going to help people. But it just seems to me, sometimes I know the Pope is taken out after bishops. He's taken them to the woodshed too. And he seems to he's now taking some of the padres to the woodshed. It's like, you guys got to start shaping up and, being better and, being more mindful of the poor. And to be really honest with you, I know a lot of good guys that are padres. Now, have I met a couple of real stinkers? Yeah. Guys who have done some pretty bad things, yeah. Okay. I can say honestly that if I hold up one hand, I could probably hold up one finger that I've known personally that has done something wrong. But by and large, the majority are hardworking, loving people, loving guys. They work hard every day. Now, does that mean there isn't more to do? Could we all do more? Yeah, I guess we could. And the way I kind of see it is, I think, maybe the Holy Father is kind of, I think he's frustrated. Let's face it, being president and probably being Pope are the two hugest responsibilities on our planet, probably, Now, if you got offended by me saying that, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you by saying that things are like the two most important positions in the world and everything else is potatoes. I don't mean it like that at all. But I'm saying the responsibility level is tremendous. Now, certainly there are other ministers and other people that are captains of countries and are presidents and premiers and things like that. And yes, they have responsibilities too, and they're important. But I'm just saying that it does seem to be that in the world there's a few people that who have a real heavy mantle to bear, whether you like them or not, you agree with them or not. But that's the way it is. And so I don't know, maybe he's just kind of frustrated with the, and he's kind of just, barking at people. It's like when you get a new company commander in the military, you get a new commanding officer. And sometimes, a new commanding officer comes in and they shake things up. Maybe they're not happy with the way things are, and they have a whole different mission, or they feel the mission they've been given isn't being carried out well, and he's going to let you know it. He's going to let you know that this is not acceptable, and you better shape up or ship out, mister. Okay. And for people that are, I think, doing the work, I don't think anybody has to worry about being, held liable for something because they didn't do anything wrong. But I think the world is angry. I think the world, I think a lot of people in the world are angry. Just look at YouTube comments sometimes. People will say some pretty ugly things. I was watching a video about a lovely gal who's trying to lose some weight, and she's a beautiful person, and she's working really hard at losing weight. I'll talk more about paleo diet in maybe one of my other videos, but right now I'm just going to finish this little topic here on, and I'm going to close it. But people say mean and ugly things to people, and I'm kind of going, well, what in the world? I watched the same video, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they just hate people that are overweight. And this person is admitting that they got a problem and they're trying to do something about it. And yet they'll say really these nasty, hateful things and the thumbs down, and it's like going, I don't understand that. I just don't. But anyway, the world is kind of an angry place. And sometimes we like to, maybe it makes people feel better to just vent their spleen, to just take it out on somebody or some organization or something. I hate to say it, but maybe that's a little bit of human nature, whether we like to admit it or not. It's not a pretty thing. But again, some people are very hurt and wounded and angry, and they want to lash out. And this is one way they can kind of do that. I'm just, thinking that maybe, instead of kind of taking people to the woodshed, as the Holy Father is kind of seeming to do sometimes. Now, again, some of this is what other people say he said, and they interpret what he says. And sometimes, again, just like I'm learning, a little bit of Deutsch, you have to be careful. Not only do you get the words right, but the actual syntax and the actual meaning of the words, and the grammatical portion is equally important, if not more important. You can probably say the right words and probably have the wrong meaning behind them. Whoa! So maybe that's part of what's going on too. But it's a little bit sad because it's like, well, the people are upset, but one of the things that I think is good is that he's kind of gone helped get beyond a little bit of the controversies and kind of said, hey, look, the church is a force for good, essentially. And it is. I see it every week. I mean, it's not just me. It's not just other priests, but it's the whole people of God that are doing great things for other people. Whether it's somebody dies and they all rally around them and love them through their grief and help them and they're there for them, or they give to Philippine relief or whatever natural disaster. The one thing that I see over and over again is the magnanimous generosity that people in the church give. A lot of times people think the Catholic Church is all about money, and all it does is just take money. We give, there's collections, but that money is not, folks, I don't get a dime of that stuff. Seriously. I mean, I get a stipend, but I don't get the weekly collection. None of that goes to me. That goes to all our programs that we have, whether it's catechetical programs, it's St. Vincent de Paul programs where we help people pay their rent sometimes. We buy groceries for people, and that's just the official, giving at a parish level. Then there's the diocesan giving level. Then there's the universal church giving level, So a lot of times people don't realize that. They kind of think the Catholic Church is just this evil entity or institution, and it really isn't. Now, again, we have teachings that sometimes people have problems with, and I'm not going to go into that. If you want to PM me and ask me some questions, I'll be glad to try to reasonably answer them to you. But again, I think maybe people just you get disappointed with certain things, and it's kind of like you're able to vent at least. It's like, well, and I don't know, but I think that one of these days, well, was there going to be a perfect world? No. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and still going to be the same old world with a lot of digital debris and emotional debris and personal problems. But there's also going to be good things there too. There's going to be people you can talk to and share your story and your journey with, your struggles as well as your successes. And that's the joy of living. And I think that one of the things I'm trying to see in the new year is through all of the negative stuff, trying to see something of value, something that's positive. Because if all I'm doing is, sucking in negative stuff, eventually it's just going to poison my emotions, my mind, my spirit, and it's going to have a horrible it just poison in, poison out. And there are a lot of really ugly things in the world. We all know that. We know people who, for no reason, either get hit by a car, or they get hit by cancer, or they get hit by some other disease, or their loved ones betray them in the worst possible way. All these horrible things that happen, natural disasters. Yeah, they're out there. That's life. But I think through all that brokenness is the fantastic resiliency of people to pick up those pieces and still smile and not only that, but still be trying to be a part of life and be a positive force in that life. Now that just is amazing. So, and there are more people, whether they're priests or they're Catholics or they're Christians, that are like that in the world. Yeah, there are some real stinkers out there. There's some real villains. There's some real bad people out there who've done some unspeakable, ugly, hideous things. But they're the little bit. They're the little minority. And unfortunately, they get all the coverage. They get all the PR. But there are hundreds, if not thousands, tens of thousands of people every day doing kind, compassionate, loving, prayerful, reverent things. They never get any little recognition at all. And we're not out there doing it for recognition. But again, there's more. I think there really is more good out there than there is evil. Okay? Okay, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you got something out of this. And until then, light up your world. Hey, light up your pipe. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.